Hello, the Pioneer viewers. Today I'm going to share with you a report with a very interesting details about the Ukrainian-Russian war. I've often mentioned it in many of our previous reports that the firepower of the Ukrainian army has so far been the biggest obstacle to the Russian invasion of Kiev. As long as the Ukrainian army's firepower is supported, Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, will never be able to achieve his dream of a greater Russia. However, despite all requests and complaints, we know that the Russian army does not receive fire support except in certain areas. We have started to see this situation, especially on the Kherson front line. Russian sources also share many reports on this issue with an urgent code. However, a solution has still not been found. Recently, images recorded by the Russian soldiers with a helmet camera were shared on social media. It is reported that the images in question were recorded on the Donetsk front line. So, what is these images? How does Ukrainian firepower put pressure on the Russian army? Let's take a look at the developments together. As the Pioneer team, we continue to bring you developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so as not to miss our daily map reports and reports on the agenda. I also read all your comments. Please continue to express your opinions about our content in the comments. Let's start if you're ready. The Pioneer reports. Although it is reported that the footage in question was recorded on the Donetsk front line, there is still no clear information. The footage in question shows Russian soldiers trapped in the building. Many explosions are heard around the Russian soldiers trapped in the building. Of course, at the time, Russian soldiers are in position. It is reported that the intense firing towards the region has a very strong effect on the surrounding areas. Russian soldiers are trying to understand what shooting was done with. Initially, they think that these shots were fired with anti-tank weapons. However, they later realized that these shots were more violent than anti-tank missiles. Meanwhile, one of the soldiers counts the shots. "Did they fire 10 times? The other soldier replies, "No, there were 7 or 8 shots. It's probably stopped when it 10. However, what was expected did not happen. The intense fire in the area continued as a full speed. In the meantime, the soldiers realized that they had to leave their positions and they leave the building they are in. But when they leave the building, they witness that the fire intensifies and they return to their original positions. It is when the truth comes out. It is the Ukrainian tank that is firing at the Russian forces. The tank's shots are quite powerful. Meanwhile, the Russian soldiers are taking amongst themselves that they guess that it is a stay where they are the tank target the building. Therefore, they need to leave this building. As far as we understand from the soldiers' conversations, there are soldiers other than 3 Russian soldiers in the building. However, we can say that this situation of these soldiers is as bad as the Russian soldiers trapped in the building, because they also do not respond to the calls for help. We see that the Ukrainian tank operator is following the incident in a very experienced way. He shoots for a while and then stops and switches to standby mode. Meanwhile, the Russian soldiers trapped in the building believe that the tank has filled its fire capacity and that they have an opportunity to escape. They leave the building again. However, the Ukrainian army tank starts firing again. Meanwhile, the Russian soldiers took shelter in the basement of another building. However, they're aware of the Ukrainian tank is following them. Therefore, they know that their location is not safe. The number of the shots fired by the Ukrainian tank reaches 15. One of the Russian soldiers made the following statements at the time. "He saw us and knows where we are, so he's shooting at us. He knows we have nowhere to go. That's why he keeps attacking. He won't let us out of the basement. He knows where else we can escape." The 7-minute video ends here. We have no information about the fate of the soldiers. Those who published this video may be the Ukrainian troops who captured the soldiers. However, as the Russian soldiers stated, we see that the Ukrainian tank pilot has established a great dominance in the region. The fact that the Russian soldiers are followed step by step and are not given space to escape clearly reveals how difficult the Russian soldiers are struggling. There is also a situation here. It is also clear that the Russian army has made no move to protect or rescue these soldiers. From this point of view, it is possible to say that these soldiers were thrown as a bait in front of the Ukrainian army. That is, they were sacrificed. The video was published on the social media platform. The majority of Russian users on the platform asked why Russian artillery was not in the area. Of course, we don't expect that the Russian government or the Russian world leadership to answer this question. However, such situations are of great importance in terms of revealing the state of the Russian army and in terms of showing the value the Russian government attaches to the army. These are events that we see every day on the ground front. As you know, this war also has a sea dimension. We know this dimension is largely taking place around the Crimean Peninsula. Recently, the Ukrainian army once again targeted the Russian Black Sea Fleet in the Crimean Peninsula, and during this attack, 2 assault boats of the Black Sea Fleet were destroyed. The Russian Black Sea Fleet is under great pressure. Due to this pressure, the Russian Black Sea Fleet left the Crimean Peninsula and anchored further east. According to the latest reports, the Russian Black Sea Fleet is in a great difficulty in terms of logistics. Allegedly, the divided strength of the Russian Black Sea Fleet prevents the realization of the large-caliber missile strikes. The fragmentation of these forces allows the Ukrainian army to obtain more opportunities to hit Russian targets with the cruise missiles. This situation is quite critical. The Ukrainian army has achieved great successes in the Black Sea. The Black Sea Fleet lost a submarine, vital dry dock facilities in Sevastopol were destroyed, and the headquarters building in Crimea was devastated by the Ukrainian cruise missiles. However, we can still say that the naval power of the Russian army has considerable strength in the region. However, the impact of the Ukrainian army's blows to the Black Sea Fleet is also considerable. If the Russian Navy is unable to ensure the recovery of the Black Sea Fleet, which is unlikely in the short term, the Ukrainian army will move closer to its goal of the Crimean Peninsula. We should also remind that the logistical problems of the Black Sea Fleet are still in the nature of a claim. However, if we make a comment based on developments in the last month, we can say that these claims are quite strong. What do you think? What effect do you think the video of the Russian soldiers will have on the Russian public opinion? Do you think the firepower of the Ukrainian army is effective? Why do you think the Russian administration does not provide the fire support to its soldiers? Could there be economic reasons behind this? What do you think about the allegations about the Black Sea Fleet? Do you think there is a logistical problems as we mentioned? Let me know in the comments. I read and care about all your comments.